Hello, everyone, and welcome on into a brand new episode of Ampistrano. So excited to have you. Hello, I am your storyteller, D&D Dornley, she, they pronouns, and welcome on in. Since it has been a week, why don't we go around real quick and say who we are and who you will be playing today. We're going to start with Maz.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Maz. How's everyone doing? I'll be playing Ostani of the Vale. Both of our pronouns are she, they. She is a centaur brave domain cleric.
Wonderful. And we'll head over to Sin.
Hi, my name is Sensei, resident sunflower person. Pronouns are he and they. And today I will be playing your stealthy robot blacksmith arcane trickster rogue Rory today.
Wonderful. And last but not least, our wonderful Fair.
Hi, I'm Farron. I am playing Theodore Shadeson, your Battlemaster fighter. Our pronouns are she, her.
Wonderful. And thank you so much. So just as a heads up, and before we dive into today's episodes, as a reminder, we do have some lovely content warnings for today's episode. Ampistrano may contain intense themes and descriptions, including but not limited to death, darkness, heightened levels of stress, descriptions of injured and slain individuals, ghosts, spirits, monstrous creatures, hallucinations, visions, possession, existential crises, complex and complicated relationships, missing and kidnapped people, grief, regret, romance, and I'm going to add an additional one, mentions of death of a child as well. Please stay safe as you travel beyond the veil and prioritize your well-being. We want you to be safe. Reminder too, we do put our videos up on our YouTube, which is also live right now, every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you want to catch up on the action or pop in and out, I also usually include our content warnings in the YouTube descriptions, as well as our amazing mod team. We'll be popping them if you're in our Twitch chat every so often, just as a reminder. So yeah, that's really it. I think we're just going to get to the recap and get right on into the show. So last time we began to process everything that has happened so far. A mysterious figure, Verrero, entered the scene with veiled warnings and threats. An uneasiness settled onto the ruins as a standoff between Tyneal, Deodora, Ostani, and Rory versus Verrero occurred. Tyneal, exhausted, advised the group to please be careful, which was quickly broken when Rory decided to experiment with the cubes. At the inn, Rory met with Benji about Orenthal business, while Deodora and Ostani connected with the Lady of the Vale to get some signs about what lies ahead. And if you would like to see that recap, you can always post !recap in the chat. All right, y'all. Are we ready to... Oh.
Jordan forgot to mention the recap, how hard I'm going to kill that motherfucker.
It's true. It's true. That's very true. It came very close.
He needs to just go home and start digging his own grave, because I'm going to put him in it.
All right. And with that, we're going to journey beyond the veil of Ampistrano. And welcome back, everybody. Hang on 1 second, I just realized that it messed up my photo on the first one. There we go. So,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't sleep. Another flash of lightning before the accompanying rumble of thunder sounds as evening in Jorvik settles in. Rain, ever present as it has been for the past few days, collecting into large ponds decorating the streets as the drainage struggles with the upkeep. A few blocks from the rubble of the Ascidian Gate, smoke and dust still rising within the Colosseum district. Someone paces across the floors of a large and elegant white stone townhouse which overlooks a small park. A large, ivy-covered wall encircles the home with small statues stationed at each entryway, standing guard, separating it from the main thoroughfare of the town, allowing for some privacy, a moment to perhaps breathe. He doesn't sleep. The wincing and slowly moving Tyneal is pacing in his study, careful to not wake the exhausted and injured occupants currently sleeping in the various rooms of his home, which he, without question, opened the doors to, offering aid and support to any that may need it. He pauses, staring at the flames in the fireplace, before muttering to himself and approaching a large oak desk stacked high with files, papers, small paintings of individuals, friends, and family. Grunting slightly as he sits his old and weathered body within the confines of a grayed and fraying armchair. Before him on the desk itself are correspondence to and from Allegris, Illipin, as far north as Fillion's Harbor and as far south as Illitoth, all in the same line and carrying the same melody of a song he knows by heart. Help. He stares at the list of names, lives, all snuffed out in mere moments, all on his watch, of course. Sands of time that he was unable to capture and rebottle, a small stack of gold for each to help ease the pain of a life now lost, and more troubling news from Deodora and her friends, captured forever. There's a small knock at the door before it opens, revealing Hyacinth, carrying a single lit candle, hair tied in a loose braid to the side, a shawl over a long white nightgown. Her tired eyes looking a mixture of amused, not surprised, and a warning on her lips. You must have a death wish for me if you're still up at this hour. She told me to make sure you get to sleep, and you aren't any use to her or the city if you're dead on your feet. Tyneal grunts after a moment, taking a long sip from his wine goblet before wincing once again, bones creaking from strain earlier today. He coughs. You locked up those cubes, right? Never did I dream anyone would try and eat one of them, and now that's all I can see. Truly, it's a wonder how she and her group are still alive with that mindset. To his right, a stack of newspaper parchment already delivered before dawn, and the town criers all getting ready to share this information as well. He doesn't need to look to know what those tidbits will say. He does not sleep. In his dreams, the faces of those he's lost, he's failed haunt him with each step, each breath he breathes, a spike being driven into his heart over and over, so much so that he shudders slightly, remembering the lies he told himself in Hyacinth not even a few days prior. The sign of a spiritual door in his office bringing forth the grave of one who never leaves. A memoir of a life that ended abruptly as it so often does. And hating. Whose legacy is alive and thriving for the most part in Illipin by all reports. The lie, a bitter taste of vinegar on his tongue as he asked Hyacinth for the removal of the rug from his office where the door once stood, advising it could be cut up to be used for blankets in the upcoming cold. No lines or marks present, but that ghostly presence still haunting him. a face burning in shock as words of hatred hang in the air from a distant memory as the corpse lay within his office. A blood trail, a drag path. He does not sleep. Hyacinth humps from the door before shutting it behind her and taking up residence on a small couch near the fireplace. Notes in a book appearing from her shawl as she turns to recline, facing Tyneal with a look of, "Don't you fucking argue." Everyone's being questioned. All reports are in from the Crown's Guard. I've begun looking in. Don't even speak it. Tyneal cuts in, his eyes looking around the room wearily for a moment as Hyacinth waits before sighing. The thing they feared, and is so obvious, there's a crack within the mantle. Not of the fireplace of this room that we find ourselves in, but in the very Crown's Guard itself. The question being, how large does this go? Is it one individual or many? All locked and sealed items accounted for. All prisoners remaining within their cells. He does not sleep. How can he, knowing that someone attempted to steal into the vaults within the Ascidian Gate during this entire distraction? A similar report from an attempt made on 2 temples within the district around the same time. He picks up his quill. While outwardly these events have no connection whatsoever, he'd be a fool to think it wasn't. As he jots down notes before wincing as pain slices through his nose and finger for a moment, dropping the quill as fresh paper cut slowly oozes blood. Meanwhile, a drop of red from his nose onto the parchment below. As Hyacinth, ever watching, eyes the commander for a moment before he quickly hides the injuries in handkerchiefs and coughs, sighing as he puts his head in his hands, allowing himself to finally rest his eyes. He sleeps as her watch begins. Across town, in a small room nestled within an inn, at the same moment that a finger is sliced, a parchment stained red as another bolt of lightning cuts the sky. Astani, what jolts you from your sleep?
The thought of nothing. The idea that there is something that could empty out and everything at the end of it would be for another cause. Yelling out into this void, and even sound cannot escape into it.
The idea of nothing, which is, I think, a presence you have felt more recently over the last few days compared to the last few weeks. Chasing a ghost who had, for the most part, always been by your side over the past few years. What was the last thing that you said to them that you now regret?
How did you know that the last thing that they said to them was a regret?
It's like I know you.
It was a question of faith, of their faith, pretty much something that is within them as well, that is reflecting back, seeing their friend not only get high enough in rank in what they're doing, be recognized by the lady, and now is walking away from it, but also being blasphemous. So it was a slight how can I believe? I can't even remember the words. It was something where the lady wanted you, and that was enough. It came out of her lips way too fast.
Those chords. The lady wanted you, echoing like a melody of a song within someone's heart. A connection not breaking but fraying like guitar strings. And a bond that had once been so strong, fracturing, questioning. When you dream, Astani, where do you go?
With what she can remember, she floats between her 3 worlds of life. Her like fishing-centered village, town, really. It feels like a village because there's house upon house upon house, and you couldn't get away with anything down the street without your mom knowing about it like 30 seconds later. And then the place where she went, remote, high in the mountains, deep creeks and flowing streams, where she was a healer. And finally the temple district, the stairs, the levels. So typically, those 3. When her days are routine and there's nothing new and no surprises, she floats between those 3 worlds.
In that, you get order, you get a schedule of some kind. You know, where you're going to be relatively, especially related to the time, since you are usually the one to welcome in the sunrise ceremonies before the sun shifts into a different house within the temple district, allowing for another temple to step forward into the light, so to speak. You've seen a lot over the last couple of days. And in fact, I think that reminder is there with you, not only with the individuals that are sleeping in or whatever it is that Rory does at this time around the room, but there's another in this room as well that's not warm, that's not sleeping. The body that Theodora and Sparky brought. The supposed blood mage. Which you can see at this moment is, I imagine, kind of propped somewhat out of sight, maybe like in a cabinet, or maybe you all have it out, I'm not sure. But wherever this body resides, it has drawn your attention for some reason or another. That nothingness. A life that was snuffed out. A soul that didn't move to the veil. What do you do, Astani, if you do anything at all?
I think it's a thing of, you know the path you're supposed to walk and you've walked it multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of frozen in place of, I wouldn't do this. Who is the Ostani that would do this? And pretending to, I guess, like they actively have to put on this facade to kind of step forward and be curious. So that is what Asani is doing, just very cautious. No, my path is always going to be here. I chose this. I chose this. Fate didn't. Nothing came to me. I said I wanted to do this. So what happened before that made me choose different?
Sure. You take those steps forward. A ripple in the water that has been the river of your life so far. A ripple. You move forward until you find yourself in front of this body, which, as serenely as possible for this specific body, you've seen many like this before as you've helped others move along into the lady's embrace, into whatever journey beyond that they may go to. You take in this individual a bit more now that the heaviness of battle is out of the way and you can get a better look at this individual. They appear to be in their 30s, maybe early 40s. Porcelain skin of blood that you can tell has been completely drained of this individual. And no, not from the whimsical story tales that mothers and fathers tell their children of vampires and other such creatures. But something else. As well as tattoos similar to ones that you saw in Aerie, but differing in coloration, as well as differing in age. Now, whether that's because of the decay of the body itself or otherwise, that's a little bit trickier to kind of tell. You're welcome to do a medicine check if you would like to, or if there's something else that Astani would likely do in this situation.
Sani of this time would possibly do a mix of medicine and religion.
Okay.
Oh, poor baby. It's a 1.
Oh, you do have inspiration.
As a D12.
Yeah. Oh, baby girl, what did you do?
That's 2 1s.
Okay.
Anyway, +8 for medicine. That's the highest stat.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Good to know. It's tricky. Even with a body, normally you can get the dredges of the soul that once resided within. And I think it hits you here that, again, there is nothing. This person was and is a blank canvas. Looking at them. You know they're someone's son. They're an individual that lived within this world. Likely had their own hopes and dreams, whether that was aligned with, it's confusing because of the wording that Deodora used when describing the fight itself, almost puppeted. You notice, though, from where the cloth is torn in spots on the body itself, it looks like rudimentary scarring from a battle long ago. Perhaps a different life for this person. And I think it takes you a second. This you do pick up. You're familiar, even there, as your magic lay within this body. You've met this person before. They looked very different. It's only been a few years, but it was around... No, it was the day that you met Lysa.
What? They're just confused and kind of blinking their eyes really quick to try to connect everything. Who are you?
The name Tommen slowly forming in your mind as the memory of a red-headed, ambitious, hopeful, and at the moment had been in pain, young Crownsguard who had been helping in the farming district after one of the raids. It's been a couple of years, so obviously aging happens, but aging of this accelerated process. Tommen should, by all intents and purposes, probably be 25, maybe 26. Not in his 30s and 40s, and certainly, hopefully, not dead.
Mm.
There is something strange at work here.
Yeah. It's the hand over the face, kind of almost trying to see through the fingers. Like, what caused this? What could have caused this?
You're welcome to, since this is a different check now, if you would like to do an Arcana check, or a history check, or a religion check, either are fine.
I need to get different dice because this one is my special one and needs to get it sit in the chair.
It needs to reset for a little bit.
Oh, that's so much better.
Okay.
What was the options again?
So you could go with Arcana, religion, or you can go with a history check.
I'll go with religion. That's
Okay.
15 plus 7.
What does it look like as you are in this moment? And the room, I think, is fresh with that connection that you had made with Deodora just a short time ago, trying to get signs of what lies ahead potentially, that connects you with the lady. What does it look like as you are reestablishing that connection and using her threads, her hand, to help guide you to your answers?
The lapping of like waves, slowly coming up higher and higher to her, almost as if she could feel the pull of them. The words in her mind saying, we can see the waves, we can see them rise and fall. We know that they're waves, but as soon as they crash, they return to the ocean, and together we are all one with the ocean. That idea of being one with her. And as the water kind of comes up further up, the chill of it and also the warmth and embrace of it kind of overwhelms her, and surrounds her.
All of that surrounds you, the water, and through that, light. And it takes a moment as, for a moment, your vision kind of swims with the scene before you, and light. Sand moving through as particles slowly, as it so often does, in not even a raging sea, but a sea that is constantly moving, alive, welcoming in, taking, absorbing, moving elsewhere to wherever ships may sail beyond the horizons, into pathways and into lands far away. Those particles connecting like constellations within the sky, as so often many ship captains and otherwise use that as guidance to push forward. And you see those threads connecting. You feel the lady with you, almost acting as a shadow as your hands move across what is essentially a blank canvas. And I apologize, can you remind me what you rolled on the die?
15 plus 7 for religion.
Gotcha, so 22. There is soul magic at work here, but not only that, some strange arcana as well. And you can sense almost like the lady's kind of gently guiding your hands to where his arms are, where you can see those tattoos, the thorns, not purple like Aries. This is a deep red, almost scorched into skin, likely after death, to where it's reached this point. It's very strange to see a tattoo that would progress like this. Age, wear and tear, even tattoos fading over time. This seemed to have gotten darker the longer it was on this body. And from what you can tell, it doesn't look like it was placed willingly. As you can see, underneath the markings of the tattoo are scratch marks, secrets of ropes and bindings that were potentially used on this individual before the tattoo. This branding had been put onto their skin. For what purpose? You sense too, again, dredges of magic and energy. And the image of Aerie comes into your mind again too. She had been actively fighting against the waves, the energy that had been seemingly been locked within her arms and had been siphoning off her spiritual energy. You and Rory in this instance, as well as Theodora coming in shortly after, have been able to help nudge her ship, so to speak, away from that riptide. This individual didn't have that safeguard, that lifeguard in place. And so was pulled under. But interestingly enough, the connection that had been built, what you've been able to learn from Aries' markings as well, this is a dual magic. A connection being made, forced to be made, that didn't work entirely. The outcome was still the same. Whatever the purpose of this, maybe it was a blessing, maybe it was a curse, snuffed the life out of this individual. So much so that it rewrote the titles, the chapter book that was this person's life within their body, as if it never existed. A husk to be filled, used, and so it was.
I think Ostani breaks down in tears. of just the loss of it, of how she couldn't remember their name and why she didn't think of them as she thinks of Lysa. The ties that like she holds, the strings that everything is coming towards, it's just overwhelming for her for a moment, but she just lets it come out in her tears as she mourns this. Gosh, I think she would hate the word husk too, just hearing that loss. So it is in this moment of a painful sobbing, almost like like breathing really hard, and finally waiting pretty much because she would be one who, like, she believes the tears will eventually end. She'll literally cry until it stops, and then once it stops, she just regulates her breathing, and with the water around her, like envisioning the lady just, please don't wake me up, don't do this, don't help us, and just pleading in a way to prevent this.
For a moment, there's a flash of lightning outside. And it's almost like time stops. From the flash, you see, in this suspended moment, your friend sleeping. Sakali curled up on the bed where you just were a few moments ago. As she steps forward, and you see a woman with midnight hair. Usually seeing her statuesque appearance throughout the temple district, but instead, in this moment, strangely more lifelike, human. Midnight hair, and you can see it looks almost like glitter, and you realize there are constellations, no, souls, markers of that moving through her hair and the threads that she weaves. A long gown of ivory, again more midnight, and the presence of blue you can see almost interwoven around the kind of threads of the dress, the aurora borealis tied together. Expression neutral. Many in other temples that don't quite understand the work that she does always paint her as cold and calculating. You, as you have mentioned, have always seen warmth. She feels pain. She is not the god of death, as many do equate her to. She is that moment between life and death, the intermediary that carries lives to whatever their eventual aftermath is. She relies on not only herself but her followers to look at the cinematic records of one's life and decide where they should go. Are they worthy to go to someplace higher? Or is it the depths below that wait? And you can see as she, like so often does in these situations, typically embraces the newly fallen. And as her hand reaches down, it's just nothing. No wisps of a person's soul. No dust even. She recoils, though, after a moment. Because from that dust for a split second, red, ash, And you can see she visibly recoils back. For a moment, you can see that her fingertips, white as starlight, blackened with a teal-like shine for a moment. The same teal you saw in the temple not even 2 days prior. She does not hiss. She does not speak. But she looks at you with almost the same question, that same pleading that you had just done a few moments before on her face. And after a moment, I need your help.
Ask for it.
Well, I think appearing before you. And you kind of see, like, for a moment, a small grin on her face. And after a moment, what sounds like the meowing of a small cat appearing on her shoulder. Black as the night, meowing as he does. I can't say what's ahead, and I know you contacted the threads of fate. I can only offer so much aid, and she kind of looks over towards, you realize, Theodora's bed. I've guided as I can. I fear if I get more involved, more of me will be lost. And you see, after a moment, she pauses before moving her arm to the side where the dress had been, and you can actually see on her shoulder what looks like scarring, blackened and teal markings starting to take root within her own body. That same teal markings that you've seen now a couple of times over the past couple of days. And where that marking is, it seems to not only harm, but erase. There's a transparency as it's almost fraying away at who she is.
Stay a bit longer.
I'm trying.
What are you afraid of? You said involving yourself.
It's not so much afraid of involving myself, for I fear that I'm in this situation as much as can be.
Where? Where are you now?
I am everywhere, as you so often know. You are quickly becoming aware, apprised of the situation. And she looks over at Theodora's cot. That one is intrinsically aware, for she's seen it herself, the boundaries between my domain and the others. Mine is a pathway to each of the different worlds, the beyonds. This impacts not only me, our temple, but the other temples as well, the other gods as well. They have strength from those that follow. And this is... And she pauses, and an image of an orchard comes to mind. First, plentiful, bottled wine constantly being sold, people, individuals happy. And then the orchard drying up. Sand. It's a cycle, as you know. And that cycle is dying to feed something else. If I draw closer, it put others to harm. And you can see at this moment as the orchard transforms to, instead you find yourself in a sea of stars before you. And off on the horizon, a very similar scorched mark of teal. But not only that, stars, souls slowly being pulled into that rift. And each one, as it's pulled into wherever this feeds into, you can feel that cry of a soul that either once was or was meant to be, the potential lost. I'm doing what I can from my end, but this extends beyond my domain as you are quickly becoming aware.
You... If it is what I am worried about, you promised. You promised that you wouldn't go somewhere that I could not follow.
And I haven't broken that promise.
And why cannot... Alright, why can I not find you here? And why... Give me real ways to save... What about her? You give me actual answers. I am working on such little experience and information that sometimes I feel like I am working doubly enough just to catch up with the both of them.
It is because things move so quickly and change. And unfortunately, most of my energy is spent. And you can see she's, like, as she's talking, she's fading in and out. You can see she's trying to keep the presence here as much as she can. But you can see behind her eyes, a god can be tired. A god has limits too, but we often don't talk about it. It is difficult when the very thing that you are fighting takes all that you are away. But the answers are in front of you. And you do have help. You are not alone. I chose you for this because you are quick of mind, because of your innate connection, not only to the veil, but to the world around you, the people, the places, your new friends. It's confusing, and unfortunately, I can't promise that all will be made clear shortly, as so many gods often promise to their followers. But the answers do lie ahead.
Is this what you chose her too? Did you tell her the same?
And you see her pause for a minute. Which her are we speaking of in this moment?
She tries not to like reveal the information. She's like holding on to something, but I think it's like, don't think about it, and then the images of Kara like flashing through her head, and she's like, no, don't reveal it. And then of course she
you
thinks
see the
exactly
knowing
about
kind
the
of
very person.
Yeah, nod. I did, but you can be chosen and chosen for a different purpose. And indeed, I did have a different purpose for Kara. But she can't serve her purpose in this moment. And who better to continue her legacy than with you?
Continue her legacy. Where is she? What do you mean by that?
She just gives you this long look.
No. I haven't even begun my search. I haven't done enough yet. There are corners of this world that I haven't even traveled to. She's
not in my embrace, but I also cannot see her.
She could be alive.
She's not. You can still have a legacy and be alive. It's a very mortal thing to think that you must be dead to leave behind a legacy. You have her journals. You have the plans the two of you made. And you know where to look.
They have more of a solemn face hearing that, just that reassurance, and I think they're like bowing their head in respect. But mentally they're like, where are the journals? Where are the answers? What do I look to first? Wake up. When the moment you wake up, remember. She said the answers are in front of you, and she's willing that thought and that mantra over and over as she's like just letting them finish pretty much. The answers are in front of me. The answers are in front of me.
And you don't have to do this alone, Astani of the Veil.
I am not alone. I don't feel alone, my lady.
Good.
Just a little inexperienced with running after rogues.
As so many of us often are. You can see here she's becoming more transparent as the conversation is going. Her magic, you can still feel it, but it's definitely dwindling. And you realize it's dawn. It's raining outside, it's lightning, it's thundering. But she's using the last little energy of her time. When the rift
return when you can. She just kind of says out.
When the rift is at this moment slowly being not shut, but at least the door partially closed. And she kind of just nods. I have faith in you. Before she fades into dust, leaving you back within the confines as, again, even with the rain and lightning and thunder outside, you can almost feel the sun trying to pierce through the clouds. A new day is here.
I think they taking that warmth, but they're going to like follow the sun, like that's kind of coming into the area through the window, and see where it hits, and look to the other like people in the room.
And everyone's slowly starting to stir, I think, at this moment.
Yeah, I think it's just her recognition that if your God has faith in you, then like what can you, like you could accomplish so many things. So they're just trying to believe in that and hold it like a sweater you're trying to imagine around you, that you know, you're like willing your body to like believe in something that physically isn't there. So immediately she's going to go to her bed, get the I know she must have carried like one or two journals of Kara's, and using the morning to just skim through this and study this. The moment anyone awakes, she'll like, Osani is just sitting there just like skimming through, and I don't know if she would immediately say what happened or what the conversation was like, but she will kind of pull it into conversation. I can see her like itching to like talk about it, but she's just going to look through Kara's journals and study on that until everyone awakes.
I think too, what might also echo in your mind every so often is the fact that a God has belief in you, and the expression of you believing in a God is more so expressed. But she trusts you with this task ahead. Who amongst the rest of the party would be the first to rise? Because again, it's dark outside. Another rainy. Truthfully, if you weren't all adventurers, I imagine it would be a great day to like cozy up with like a book and just stay indoors. But there is work to be done.
I think uncharacteristically, I think Deodora might be the last person to get up. She had a day yesterday.
Yes, she
did. Yeah.
Astani would walk in on Rory with a small cube in their hand.
You can't eat it.
It has long been established that I can, just not without consequences. Also, you're awake.
Good morning. Yes, you can. I'm saying more. You can't eat it as a request, especially in these close quarters. And walls, and stone, and possible lightning that could shatter all these windows.
Oh, well, I've been thinking about measures for that, and one of them is, well, I would say it's a theory, but it's a little bit more than a theory for me now these days, which is, if I remember correctly, there are other planes of existence I could go to in order to more accurately test them without harming anyone. Unfortunately, I do not think that is an adventure that we have time for yet.
So, the inquisitive side of me would want to see this. If we can find a moment to do that in our next, after our next travels, I would join.
Did you sleep well?
I slept. I was visited by the lady last night, and it's not one that I expected. And they will kind of quickly summarize what they said. I'm trying to write down as much as possible. Remember everything, but and try to look at every resource that is in front of us. Something that is amiss that maybe we have gleamed over. Maybe the reason I am here is to provide fresh eyes. I don't know, but when she said it is in front of me, that they should open up answers as we keep moving forward, I am going to lean on that. How did you sleep?
I don't usually.
Rest? Stand? Meditate?
Let us say our resting period passed with ease.
Hour?
Yes, I believe you've heard mention of this before.
Yes, I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to. Yes, I've heard of it before.
If you have a question, you can feel free to ask. Otherwise, I assure you, you will find out in time.
Well, my only question is do you prefer they, or you, do you have, who is the other?
Blackstone.
I think it's a quick look to the sleeping Theodora and back. Do they know?
Yes, they are actually rather painfully aware.
Yes, I'm saying, do they know that it is still our?
Questioning is carved across Rory's features.
They held a pain when I last saw them. A pain of loss, of friends, of something. I didn't ask for more. And then, again, the name happened. Again, I didn't ask, but the connections kept going over and over. You're saying our as if they are still here, but to them, they are not.
Well, because both of those things are true. I see. This is going to take a moment, but I believe that it's time we have. And, well, looking at her, I'm sure Theodora will enjoy a little bit more rest while I explain.
All right.
Would you mind taking a seat?
Yes, here, let me move my items off of, and then they'll get from the bed to towards you and just sit down.
Okay. Rory also picks a place to sit. And then the room goes white. believe we've been here before. I simply um, remember to have you sit this time to make this a little bit less unpleasant an experience.
That's what that was. Yes, I feel the unsettling in my stomach already.
So, using the telepathy with which I normally communicate, this is a more enhanced version that I like to use for explaining things. Makes it easier to pass information when you can both hear and see.
Oh. Great. Do I just stand still?
Oh, well, you're already seated somewhere. You're free to move around in this space. This is happening in your mind.
They do that slow motion of getting up and trying to look where they're seated at, and then finally stepping very slowly. Everything is white, so they're just like, I don't know where to put my feet. But they've been here before, and they just follow Rory like closer, just like, I'll stick by your side then.
Here, why don't we imagine a familiar place? Do you have a particular place that you like?
Immediately it's the rustling, like lower parts of the cities where like it's like near the fishing areas, and there's food, like food stalls, and smells of everything, and loud noises, and just water nearby. Oh, that came to me quickly. I guess I am craving some fried fish. Didn't
Or
think that.
maybe the feeling of home?
Yes, I am missing home.
And there's like a smash cut to that exact scene, except that you are watching, like you are surrounded by it, but the sounds are muted and people are walking by, but seem to be entirely unaware of the two of you.
She's doing that thing of like, what? Like trying to like get people's attention, or like, oh, great. I see what you mean.
It is a place that is drawn from your memories, but we are not physically in this place. But at least you know where to stand now. The ground is here. So, to explain, I am an inventor and a smith. My name is Rory, in a short sense. As a matter of fact, hold on. And an orc, a half orc appears in steampunk goggles and a smock and leathers. I am the inventor of this being, and this is the person that you have been like the form that you have been walking around with for the last several days. My particular expertise is experimenting with, well, energies, and in particular, the understanding of how spirit energy infuses the world and works and functions in different ways to use it. And, well, in the process of my many experiments, I have created this being for, well, and the vision in the background has, like, you see like a tremor run through the background. There is a feeling of heat and warmth and a bit of discomfort before Rory just kind of like closes their eyes and waves their hand a bit, and the image resettles. This is Blackstone, who I made for a particular purpose at, let's say, a very tumultuous time. During my time, when I was alive, catastrophe came to our home. And in order to prevent the dangers there from spilling into the rest of the world, the place that I hail from separated themselves from the veil. There is a small bubble in the world where the spirits of the people who live there are not able to cross over. In an effort to preserve me alive somehow, my sister placed within the body of Blackstone my soul and hers. So, we just sort of live here. Well, two of us now. There was a rather unfortunate incident with a cabal of, well, villainous people, to say the least, who are also rather bent on using what they understand of spirit energy to do rather terrible things to both individual people and the world at large. And they have taken it. In the process of all of these adventures leading up to this moment, when my sister was taken, Blackstone went into the far corners of his own soul to learn what it is that he was made for and what they can do. And until he returns, I am here keeping watch of all of the people that they have come to care for. He is aware of what happens out there, but not as actively involved as I am, at least not for the time. And at some point, when they are done learning what it is that they wish to learn, they will reemerge and I will have a time to retire. I'm not sure what that looks like because, as I have said before, I won't be going to the Vale anytime soon. Maybe I'll keep the library in order. Maybe I will find a more effective way for them to keep notes in the future. Or become better friends with Corbin. Have Blackstone make me into a familiar hero. Who knows? So, to review, I am this person, but also, and there is the silhouette of a woman with a long dress and long dark hair. There is this this automaton that you see, but instead of indigo colorations, their colorations are all cobalt blue. And in their hand, they hold a small mouse. And next to them is the half-orc in goggles and leathers and stuff. In essence, I am all of these things, and after a manner, none of them.
How?
I will say that Theodora is aware that this one is on a quest, but I would imagine that for many reasons, especially at a time when, well, we have seen other things happen to people that she cares for. I imagine it is a heavy, a ponderous, and anxious thing for her to wait until her friend returns.
this is... How familiar is this the idea of people lost in an area where they cannot transfer over? How familiar is that to Ostani?
Why don't you roll a history or a religion check?
It's 19 plus religion is 7.
Okay. It is, as so many of these magics often are, forbidden. It essentially is an emergency plan, so to speak. For once that thread is cut, it can almost never be reestablished. It's like moving into a dead zone, so to speak. Her reach will not be able to. It's very likely the souls will be trapped, unable to move on. That's why the veil works as it does. Fairies often working to help ferry the souls on to the next area where they can. The clerics doing the same. The monks protecting those boundaries. All of it working together, much like a river, feeding itself. Moving into areas where things are dead or dying. A wildfire, making a forest stronger than it once was before. This cuts that off entirely. It is denying a plant's sun. Therefore, it's forbidden. And it typically, with the roll that you got, you would know that it typically takes 2 people to cast such a severance. But not only that, but to bind another soul to a body. This city didn't have its back turned by the Lady of the Veil. And I think in the remnants that you're getting those images of not exactly Felk itself, but just I imagine just knowing Rory, the wavelengths, each a ripple effect in the water that you now find yourself in. And the number is massive. Lives that were snuffed out, and in this case, interestingly enough, don't seem to be aware that they were snuffed out. Revenants forced to continue to walk ahead, but never moving beyond that line. You've never personally heard of something like this before, and in fact, this all seems a bit strange, but you've seen stranger things over the last couple of days.
Yeah. They just wanted to get that information as you were talking, Rory, and they're just nodding, walking through this memory of their home. You both exist, and she is aware. Thank you for sharing. This is a very new, albeit everything is new, but new concept for me, but not at all something of caution or fear, just curiosity.
Understandable. It is understandably a sort of story and information that has been kept away from most of the world. But as you being involved here is going to put you in grave danger, I think it probably helps for you to at least people that you are in that danger with. And so here we are.
Could you, if you wish, could you show me where your ground is? Or your home?
I suppose one day if we wander back to it, sure. Well, I suppose I will, somewhat befittingly, be there in spirit when that happens.
Will I know if it is you or Blackstone that I'm talking to?
Oh, well, the particular vessel that I created here does have diagnostic lights that make it very easy for you to read that.
I just want to be respectful. I don't want to, run to you about things that I don't know Blackstone likes. I'm not really sure how it works, so... what if I have a new tea or food or clothing for your friend?
Astani.
Yes.
Blackstone is a person. How do you get to know people?
I know. I just have gotten used to calling one my friend and expecting them through the door. So if another arrives, taking the steps again to open yourself up and learn, and then going back to, if you do come back, or I don't understand, but you see what I mean? It's just a confusion. I just wanted to be respectful.
On the one hand, I suppose there is some confusion considering that we're both similar in form and dissimilar in so many other ways. But perhaps that is, well, there is an innate connection you have to the world of spirits. The spirits that we encounter, each of them, are very different from one another, like fingerprints. And in that sense, Blackstone and I are very distinct. I think it will be rather easy for you, in fact, to notice.
Good.
Oh,
Good.
there was one other thing I wanted to mention to you, but that's more about planar theory. In between planar theory and my notions on applied science and spirits, that's a long conversation that we can probably save for another time. And I think we'll
we have a whole journey ahead of us, don't we? So honestly, I could start talking about planar theory immediately. I only have the books and research from the Temple District myself. However, it is logged with a lot of theology and religion, but still astute facts woven in between. And if Theodore does not mind, why not fill the journey with talk?
I feel like that is a journey that we could also bring Theodore on. I also think I know how. But I suppose we should ask her when she wakes. And speaking of, we should go and see about that.
And I think around this time is when you're starting to wake up, Theodora. I think it's you still hear the rain outside. You still hear the lightning and thunder rumbling through every now and then, kind of shuddering the inn that you're in as a bolt hit nearby. I think it's more so just the quietness that's in the room. Like, you're always acutely aware of where everybody is. And it's I think the idea that Rory and Stani are kind of huddled in a corner and seemingly just staring into nothing, which you're, I think at this point, very used to probably what is happening. And just silence.
Yeah, I think as I wake up, I'm very like groggy, probably didn't sleep all that well. Wake up, look around the room, see Astani and Rory just kind of like blank face staring at each other because they're in like the Mind Palace place. And like, again, to your point, I'm used to it by now, so I just like, oh, so this is we're starting this already. Okay, good. And I think as they're like having this conversation, I'm like getting ready for the day, like splashing water in my face, like, freshening up, and then like, getting into my armor, checking on the body in the fucking armor. Just things like that. Okay.
Still there. Your body, you've worked it out before. You've had fights before. You feel really sore today.
Yeah, I had like three big
really
fights
sore
yesterday.
Today. You're
plus running.
It's one of those two, like, I wouldn't even say it's necessarily that soreness of like, oh, I had a really good workout. This is just, oh no, I overdid it a little bit. Oh no.
This was, I went past the good workout and I went into hurting myself.
Yep. Yeah, it's just kind of like, I had Meganese at the club the other day, and now we're at the morning after.
Yeah.
Just a bit. Well, it's not only that, you had in the battle that happened too, one of them yesterday, you had blood siphoned off, and then you were running on adrenaline for the remainder of the day, and then finally collapsing back. So it's honestly not too far off from like a really bad hangover and just feeling just very drained, for lack of a better term.
It's not even just the adrenaline, but also just all of the high emotion that I wasn't able to actually like really express until like the very end. And even then, like, the talk with Astani was helpful, but like, obviously there's still so much other stuff to work out that just one conversation's not going to do. And just like collapsing under the weight of everything.
And you slowly, I think, see Astani blinking a few times as like they're leaving the mental meeting room that Rory is known to conjure from time to time.
I think by the time they come out, Theodora's like fully just ready to go.
Yeah, I think they're just like, oh, this is different. Standing, moving to sitting. Oh, good morning. Ready to go?
Yes.
Would be just 2 seconds. I need to pack very fast. I had like, if you can imagine a friend who packs everything and like isn't like an explosion when they go to like a hotel, that's kind of Osani's vibe. So they're just pushing everything in, packing everything together.
So me in a hotel, because and I refuse to use any drawers. I just live out of the suitcase, so everything goes everywhere. Yeah.
Those drawers are not for putting things in. What?
No. So, why would I do that?
It's not even messy. It's just like Ostani's version of
everywhere.
Glamping.
It's organized chaos. It's organized chaos.
It's beautiful, and like we're traveling, right? This is traveling.
Okay,
attire
here's the
and
thing:
camping.
Staying in an inn or at a hotel, that is glamping because you're not at home.
True.
Yes.
That's glamping because you're still slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But at least you have a bed, you know?
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. So she just packs everything very quickly and just she's just scurrying around, and she's has her bag open, just Sakali, and like going under the bed sheets. Like, in, and then rushing to get everything like literally off the tables. Just
While Astani is packing, I walk over to Deodora and ask, "Did you pass the night well?"
I passed the night. It's kind of all I got right now.
Well, for now, then, that will have to do. Just between you and I, Astani had some questions about Blackstone, so I kind of gave her a crash course on how we're kind of two people, but kind of contained in one form. That was what was happening earlier. But also, how are you feeling? I ask because, well, you seem to be at the crossroads of many intense and dangerous things, more so than I, which I would say, given Blackstone's history, is quite the achievement.
I don't know how to answer that. I feel a lot of things right now. And it's hard to put them into words because, I mean, I'm sure it's the same for you. Maybe not. No, you've been kind of through something like this before. I saw that flashback. I've never been through anything like this before. So I don't know really how I feel right now.
Well, if at any point you wish to share a bit of it, even if it's not fully cemented yet, let me know.
Deodora, looking, just like still eye contact, gives a beat and just says, I want to go home. That's how I feel right now.
To a land or to your people?
My people. All land is our home.
Rory holds an idea in his mind ever so briefly, and then lets it pass. I guess we'll have to see you home, but I think before we do that, we're going to have to see about this situation with the young lass. Oh, that reminds me. We do have a couple of things as a group that we will need to talk about today.
Such as?
Robbing the nobles.
Ah, yes.
Oh. We have to talk about that today?
You have a
Yes.
long journey?
Unfortunately, well, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your perspective, yes, that and a couple of other things.
Okay.
So, Astani, when you're done packing and I can have your undivided attention, can we all gather in here to have a brief chat?
They're
please?
just like in and out, so like they heard the journey part and coming back in. They're like, yes, and they go back into the other area. Finally, like a whole bag, and they put it down. Like, yes, undivided. I don't think I brought any toiletries. I'll have to check later. But yes, undivided attention.
Ah, well, okay then. So, herein is the situation. Apparently, a number of people in apparently ordinary black clothing, I suppose more mercenary in their bearing, with bloodshot eyes, happen to make their way here, looking for us, and probably in particular looking for me, but we're aware of the rest of you.
Black cloaks and red eyes. Isn't that
Bloodshot,
people
as if
who-
they had not. Bloodshot, as if they had not slept.
yeah?
It
Isn't that
seems.
what the people in the grotto? Isn't that what they look like before they turned into the? Am I misremembering? Like me as a player, I thought that was the same description as the cloaked figures who were like
Correct.
chasing us before.
Correct. You're correct.
Those were the same people who chased us before they turned into that monster.
So, they seem to have not only come here looking for me, but seem to have a plan to return here. Which means that today when we leave, for example, we cannot leave via the front door.
Should we even come back?
About that, I have both found a means for us to leave here and be relatively unseen, although in a roundabout fashion, and we may be able to find other places to stay out of sight when we wish to be. But I thought you should be aware, as I'm sure you already are, that there are eyes on us. And it seems that they are very interested in making things a bit more personal. But for what reason, I do not yet know.
There's like a flash of panic that like crosses and like just distress that goes across my face, because it's like, if I'm being watched, if I'm being followed, then I fucking can't go home. And that's all I want to do right now. She doesn't say this, but it's like clear that's like her first thought.
So, good news is, the owner of this inn and Blackstone have a rather unique relationship. And because of that, they'll be able to guide us to places and keep safe passage. Mostly for the two of you, if I ask them. But it just means that there are, or maybe on occasion, sometimes where you will have to go to places without me, because being seen with me could place you in danger. Either that, or I'll just have to go with the tried and true method of being invisible, but yeah.
Why is it that you think that they're after you specifically?
Well, as I had learned about Blackstone yesterday from Benji, when you met Blackstone so long ago in Illipin, that was a danger then, and he was sent away there for their safety.
Does it have to do with these individuals, or was it safety from something else?
Well, as I'm sure you have experienced, Blackstone is a rather unique type of being, and some people have, let's say, nefarious designs for what they would like to do with that sort of thing. It will not be safe for them if they're captured by these people.
Okay.
So that's one thing. But the other thing, and more important, and possibly more fun, is that there will be a tournament of some kind where there will be revelry and battles, and nobles will be placing bets on who will win what. And during that time, they will not be at home. And Blackstone, care of myself, has been asked if they would not mind, for the sake of the people of the grotto, the graveyard district, the people that Tyneal, in his position, would work to rescue and to at least improve their conditions, if we wouldn't mind assisting the nobles to do something a little bit more worthy with their money, their possessions, and so on. In lay terms, while they're at the tournament, we should rob them.
No, I got that. I'm just okay.
I'm doing the robbing.
I added arson for free. We have tools. We have very simple tools to do them with, and they pull a cube out of the bag.
Okay. I guess my one concern is while we're robbing the nobles and they're holding this tournament, betting all the money with the prize, I think it was like 5,000 gold or something like that. I just worry about what's going to happen to the people because I don't trust that tournament.
Yes, that is my concern as well.
What I would say is, on the surface, it is me doing a favor to people who have, behind the scenes and in their own way, have been caring for Blackstone and protecting them from unseen dangers. However, it does also mean one very important thing for all of us. The people who are involved at the highest levels with the recent and very unfortunate things that have befallen the people of this town, including Aerie, are also people from that caste in society. And that means we can look for clues.
Is it just us doing this, or is Benji giving us help? Because I'm not great at... I don't do sneaking.
Well, you might not do sneaking very well, but you do distractions. However, and very importantly, he has enlisted the help of many. So, no worries there. That will not be the sole providence of our crew. And in fact, he simply asked if I would help. He has not involved the two of you, although you can volunteer if you wish.
I think I need more details.
Yes, I would like to hear more.
This, and also just about the tournament, because yes, I could be a distraction, but I might be... Maybe my distraction can be at the tournament. I don't know.
Well, you know, what I will say to you there, brushing back the hood just a bit. The tournament is a very simple and straightforward thing. Multiple, fighters clashing together in combinations of might or magic, whatever the set rules are, because we know how the nobles like to cosplay as if they are at war with the lives of other people because they simply have the money to do it. That is a very simple and straightforward thing. The other side of that operation will involve just, well, quite honestly, taking things away from them that they will probably not even miss while it is gone. And, well, taking that and then redistributing whatever wealth we get to the people via, well, let's say, specialized and very well practiced means.
I guess.
I suppose as for the two of you, this is also an option for you if you have things that you need to look into during that time. You could.
Okay. I think my one concern about this is that we have a tournament with so many lives, so many souls, and we just had a monster that was going through the city devouring souls. It just seems like, and I mean, I guess I don't really know like what the three of us can like without help can do, but it just seems like it would be fish in a barrel.
That does seem like a rather unfortunate side effect of, well, if we had all of the people gathered in one place to do a thing, then here we are. Because most people, whether noble or layman, would also be at the tournament rather than at home.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm having a hard time seeing a straight path lately.
I suppose, unfortunately, the path forward rarely ever is. We have a couple of days, I believe, until the tournament happens. So, between that and, well, currently trying to examine what we can find of Ares' condition, and I believe getting the Bone Weaver thread, which we still need to do, we may have time to mobilize some people to take some preventative measures, perhaps. And I know of a couple of ways that we can do that. But that would require me to go and talk to a certain wizard, who, if I'm not mistaken, still lives here.
Can we just do one thing at a time?
Unfortunately, we have to.
Okay. No, I need it. I can't think about robbing nobles right now. Really.
Okay.
When there's so
Well,
much other stuff to do.
as I understand it in our list of priorities at the moment, finding the items that we need to find to save what remains of Ares' soul before it is extinguished. Getting you back to people of the Shift Week for you to figure out what has happened so far and how to protect yourselves in the future. And we can just start with those two for the time being.
Okay, thank you. Astani?
Yes, Theodora.
Oh. I would like to hear your opinion.
I share the same as you. You want... It is bad luck or just bad timing that we are followed, watched, because the next course of action is to reassure or validate, just make sure that our people are safe. I would like to do that with the Temple District. I could send information or word, and you would like to do that with your family.
Yeah.
Any other course of action would be done on shaky ground without that reassurance. Rory, I don't mind showing the nobles a lesson or two. I might look away from the thieving. I guess I could be convinced if it shows a truer path with the lady, but without that reassurance, the satisfaction would be less sweet. Is there a way that we could go? Whether it is through hiding or invisibility or, honestly, just a meeting place in the dark that could get word or news that would alleviate you, at least. Or your pain, your burden. I can at least do that with the other temples. That's primarily my opinion.
I know I asked for us to do one thing at a time, but one thing we should also take care of, and I point to the wardrobe with the body. I meant to leave that at the gate, but
so you do unpack some things into the drawers.
Oh, I mean, just stuff that that's not stuff I care about, as in it's not my personal property. But also, I didn't want Sparky to start playing with it.
Yeah, very brilliant.
But where do you wish to take it?
I don't know. This person was puppeted. I don't think there's any. I mean, I don't know. I saw the little blood marble roll out of them, so I don't think there's a linkage to whoever it was anymore. But if we are to dispose of it, we should maybe take some precautions, just in case.
Understood.
Physical or magical?
Both.
Oh, I could help with one.
Well, I suppose, let's see. There is the option to look at removing spells, removing curses, placing it in an anti-magic container, sending it to an extra plane, or contacting the staff that Tyneo has, Hyacinth in particular, and seeing if they have a particular way that they would prefer to dispose of it and or examine it, and then taking it there.
I'm going to take the hands off before we do that, though.
Of course.
So they can't cast spells in case. I don't do magic, but I know how I've seen spellcasters. I know they use their hands for a lot of stuff. I might take the tongue too.
That was the other path for us. Granted, I don't use it much, but I
understand the two of you
bring it with us as a necrom.
I understand the two of you are uncomfortable. You are both spellcasters.
It's a little bit less discomfort and a little bit more concern. Advanced levels of magic or specialized types of magic are kinds that can be used sometimes without any of those items.
Yes. I was more concerned with, if I could, I always have this prepared, working with a lady, I could raise the dead and it could come with us.
Do you need a soul for that?
I don't think they would. They won't function the same. But we wouldn't have to dispose of anything, and honestly, it would kind of add numbers to our traveling party and maybe help to push people away from if we're trying to be sneaky.
You get to see me eyeing like the head and the neck, like, oh, advanced levels of spells don't need those kind of components. I'll just take the fucking head off. And can't do spells if you can't think, bitch. Like that's just like it's like on my face. Like I'm gonna fucking chop this head off.
I'll just step over here for a moment and let you two ladies discuss. And I step into the other room, and I believe we have like contact bracelets for Tennille.
Earrings.
It's earrings.
Earrings.
Little earrings.
Okay.
You get to use them once every 2 days. So.
Okay. I believe there was a command word for this. I'm not sure what the command word is. As a player, I'm not sure what the command word is. Hello and good morning. Is this Commander Tennille?
It's kind of grunting back. Probably was just sleeping. Just kind of waking them up. It's a little late in the day for him, but yeah.
Like I have no, like, because it's dark, it's one of those, as you've described the weather, it's the kind of dark where you don't really know what time of day it is.
Correct.
Because it always seems the same kind of dark all day.
Not a single rooster has crowed yet, and you know it's just too fucking early.
And it's like not a single rooster has crowed. It's like 2 p.m. at this point.
Yeah. He literally went to bed like an hour ago.
Yeah, pretty much. But you do hear him kind of cough and wince for a moment and goes, yes, Rory, isn't it?
Correct. In order to not be a burden, or more of a burden right now, is Hyacinth nearby?
She is. And you kind of can hear movement directly into the earpiece, so it's quite possible he might have fallen asleep on Hyacinth after moving from the desk. And you kind of hear her quietly be like, what?
Good morning, Hyacinth. This is Rory.
Good. The cube eater, right?
Yes. I would like you to know I have not ingested any today.
Good. That, believe me, makes both Tiny and I very, very relieved to hear as well.
We do. I have a question for the both of you.
Of course.
We happen to have the body of an assailant that the commander ran into. Before we try to find whatever varied means of trying to deal with it, I wanted to ask you if either of you would like this body for your own personal reasons or examinations. Because the other option at the moment, as Theodora is considering it, and I can probably hear like bits of Theodora talking about how to deal, like decisively to deal with spellcasters from the other room. Theodora is deciding to, let's say, try a few methods that seem to be rather decisive for dealing with spellcasters.
I think you hear Tiny just laugh and go, that sounds about right for Theodora. I taught her well. And she's got good instincts. I would personally, well, I'm not so much of an expertise when it comes to doing that kind of autopsy that you're speaking of. We do have some trusted members within the Crown's Guard that I would like to. Obviously, I don't really want you lugging a body around town, as that could, frankly, the fact that it wasn't brought up yet in the headlines, and you can kind of hear what sounds like even amongst the rain and thunder outside on his end, it sounds like not like a shout, but just yelling, which you would know Rory is like the town crier moving through the streets with like papers to sell, telling about the headlines for the day. You have an unfortunate amount of cubes, correct?
Currently 48.
That's what I mean by unfortunate. Okay. What I want you to do.
Isn't it 47 because you ate one?
No, I
No,
started
it's
with
48
50.
because.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
What I want you to do is very carefully move into a room where the others are not in and the body is. And you can throw the cube on the body. I'll need you to concentrate, but I will be able to transport. And I think you hear Hyacinth kind of arguing with Tinyl and him just going, it's fine. I will be able to transport it here for ease.
Tinyl,
Yes.
you haven't had nearly enough sleep to replenish your mana enough to do that.
I have enough for this, and then I'm going back to sleep for a little bit. Hyacinth's orders. I've taken a partial morning. I need to get up anyways, as I need to take the report up to the castle anyways. So
You hear Hyacinth like mutter like Theodore's orders.
literally, yeah. I have to take it personally. So doing that, and then it's straight back to bed for a little bit. So
Hold on for a moment.
and I think at this point you just hear almost like when you're on a phone call with someone, they're trying to be quiet, but they're not muting. You can just hear Tinyl and Hyacinth kind of arguing very quietly.
Hey, Hyacinth,
Yeah.
you wouldn't happen to have sand on you, would you?
I do.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that there's at least one person here. I am going to send the body with a scroll. When you get the scroll, if you could acquire that sand, I need you to take that scroll and read what is on it.
Okay. It's not going to explode, right? You seem to be, no offense, you just seem to be very into explosives.
None taken. I'm into experimentation, but no, this is safe.
Okay. I'll take Deodora's word with this and the fact that she is with you just because I just met you. Nothing personal.
So, I let that whole thing disconnect, and well, actually, I keep the phone on. It just kind of walk into the room and go. Right. So, we do have a plan and a confirmation about what to do with this particular body. Can we have that just brought into the room, please?
You walk in and like Theodore's just like circling this body, like mentally marking where she should cut to make it as clean as possible when she starts.
And when I say,
and Astani is probably just like going back and forth of like, maybe not there, just, I don't know. Like, honestly.
Can I have you two step out of the room, please?
Oh. Why?
Hyacinth's orders, as it were.
Theodora looks at Rory like, that means nothing to me. Hyacinth does not give me orders. I give Hyacinth orders.
Tinyl was right next to them at the time and also said I should do this, and that
I also give Tinyl orders. Honestly.
I pull out a piece of parchment and just start writing.
mm-hmm.
And I get to the end of it. I'm going to tell you here, Jordan. I'm going to tell you
Go for it.
What I did here.
And just so it's clear, because you all are sharing one room, this is not like where you were at before. The other room was essentially the bathroom. So Rory's either telling you to go to the bathroom or go out in the hallway.
Rory went into the bathroom and then did prestidigitation to make the sound of the because I imagine it's maybe just like an ever flowing water in there.
Yes.
Or unless they have plumbing, I don't know, I doubt it.
No.
But just use prestidigitation to make the water super loud so we could overhear the conversation.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
Jordan's laughing.
Okay. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
And so That is what I put on the scroll that I'm writing, like just the instructions on how to do that.
Love it.
And
Mhm.
I then go, please, pretty please, I promise I won't. And I pull out the cube.
Oh, I run. I
Oh, immediate, just to get
Fucking
out, and they're just like,
literally part of my
You
body
said not
aches because
inside.
that fucking cube.
And you see Rory throw it at the body, and a barrier appears around it.
Not as large as the one, Theodora, you were in the day before. This actually seems to be because both Rory and I think in this instance, Tyneal is very much the the bot that's overriding. So it's more concentrated to a smaller space. The construct of this kind of force field forming around the body with the parchment, and there is, I think, accompanying with the lightning outside, another flash, and the body disappears along with it. There is a little bit of char on the ground as it seems like it's burnt some of the wood as that happened. You hear after a few moments in your ear, Rory, as the body seems to have made it to its pinpoint. And Hyacinth, there seems to be some kind of scuffle of some sort as Hyacinth very quickly runs over. And you just hear Tyneal like mumbling, like, what are you doing? Before there's a thud on the opposite side of the phone. And Hyacinth saying, thank you. He's sleeping.
Oh, cast sleep on him or something.
Cat nap.
Hyacinth.
Same difference to
Yep.
me, honestly.
So, probably will come in handy for you if you need to make a copy of it, although I might need to send you another scroll if that's the case.
Already
Anyway, that will...
She's like, I took this and put it in my spell book.
Literally,
bitch.
yeah.
Wizard shit.
Essentially speaking, this gives him the glorious benefit of taking maybe half a shift's worth of sleep. It's handy for wizards, but I imagine it will be even handier for Tyneal if he is either awake from stress or at least experiences fitful sleep. At least you know he will have about 4 hours worth.
That's more than he usually gets. So, perfect. We will, we'll let you know if we find anything with this body as well. Just so we're all roped in on the situation.
There is a particular orb of some kind that was noted on the body, but that is not currently present on it. We're not sure where the marble went.
Okay.
This person is a practitioner of blood magic, and as you know, unusual magic needs unusual precautions. So do keep that in mind.
Yeah, Tyneal was mentioning it yesterday while we were doing our debriefing.
Yeah. I think Theodora can only hear Rory's side of the conversation, but she says, or they were being puppeted by somebody who knows blood magic. I think this might just be a body that was used.
Well, thank you. Be careful in your day ahead, and if you need anything while you have used your way to contact Tyneal, you do still have Theodora and Astani. They're able to over the next 2 days. So we'll keep you abridged of the situation. But be careful.
And one more thing.
Yes.
Actually, let's just say, I do believe sooner than later, if the word on the wind is true, you'll have some information about where that tower landed if you wish to recover it.
We already located it yesterday. We're working to try and remove it. And you kind of just hear this long, drawn-out sigh, and then she kind of winces, almost like she was doing it too loud. We're working on it.
Understood. Oh, and by the way, trust me, for the duration of that spell, he won't hear a thing. You have 10 minutes.
That's good to hear.
She's like, finally, I could get some work.
Literally. Literally that.
And the connection cuts. Well, that takes care of that, and I managed to use a cube without blowing anything up.
Very proud.
How many
suppose
more do
given-
you have left?
Well, let's see. I only remember using 2, but then I also remember giving Theodora 1, and I may have handed the the cleric a couple.
Ostani
So-
writes in her the
If
back
I'm
of her
ra-
journal. Just
If
Okay.
I'm rounding at this moment, we should be at approximately 40 cubes.
all right, 40 cubes.
Okay. Bone Weaver's thread. Theodora's like, I
Yes.
can't think about this cube shit right now. I just can't. I just, you know what? That's.
I think
I got hit with it. Now that's y'all's thing. It's above me now.
I think that's a great thing to branch off of, as Theodora, as all of this has kind of been happening. You're processing a lot of things at one time right now, right? The ever-growing list. I think at this moment, Sparky, are you sitting or are you standing in this moment?
I think I'm standing, like, because Rory told us to leave the room for the
Brief
cute thing.
duration, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I might just like be standing in the hallway or something.
Okay. I think Sparky in this moment is just doing the thing that dogs tend to do sometimes when they utterly adore you. It's just sitting directly by you and just looking straight up at you. Just with all the love in the world. You are their entire world. But you have a lot of things bouncing around in your head. You are one that usually not necessarily comes up with a game plan, but you always have some kind of order of operations, right? Based upon need. Like, this is the most immediate. This we can kind of table a little bit, and this can be put on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on in your mind? Because I have to imagine that some of that is in conflict right now.
All of it is in conflict right now. I think there's, just, okay, we have to go to the graveyard district. We need to get the Bone Weaver's thread, go to Aerie, help them make the potion if they need help. And then just like a list of like just trying to like sort things out, but then like everything is like most things rather are like the same level of pressing. But there's also just like this like home, need to go home, need to go home, need to go home. Like just that constant in the back of her mind, like that punctuates literally every, like that is the bullet point to every item on the list is go home, go home, go home, go home.
Sure. Would you mind making a wisdom savings throw? And interestingly enough, you want to fail this roll.
Okay, great. Well, I'm sure I did, because that is what I think my wisdom is a +3 saving throw. I literally just wrote it down, but then no thoughts had empty. Yeah, so that's a 7.
Okay. With a 7, Sparky seems to be trying to make eye contact, is doing the thing of they are sensing that there is a lot of stuff going down. So I think even after a few moments of them whimpering and kind of wagging their tail as you're kind of like just in your head sorting through all of those things, you feel a weight as they have kind of gone up on their haunches and are putting their paws on your shoulders just to kind of ground you a little bit. They are very heavy.
My knees buckle.
Yep. They're very heavy. And they are staring intently at you. And after
I guess I just stare back.
And
I
after
do a staring contest.
Yeah.
Like I do with Prince.
And after a moment, you feel yourself kind of being pulled away. This is not an unfamiliar sensation to you either. As Theodora, I have to imagine, has daydreamed before.
Mm-hmm.
This is slightly different. It's got variations of and hints of when you dreamwalked all those weeks ago with Sparky as your guide, your tether. Same thing. You find yourself now not in the confines of the inn at Lilon with Astani, a dead body, and Rory talking about cubes and such, but instead walking a darkened path ahead of you. Shadows, not reaching, but ever so often swirling around you, not menacingly, for you live within the shadows. And after a moment, you see several golden threads of wheat kind of moving through the shadows and on the breeze. And those 2 threads of wheat become much clearer. Can you take a second and describe what your brother looks like?
I mean, he looks very much like Theodora, taller, but still dark skin, gold eyes. His hair is still in dreads. They're a little bit more like they're shorter than hers were before she shaved them off. It's kind of like the only best way I can describe it is like Killmonger, like that, like those kinds of dreads, like just like that. A little more lithe than Theodora. She's muscular and he's more of like dexterity, roguish ranger type. So, but yeah, just like kind of like a lot of people mistake them for like fraternal twins, but he is older than her. And yeah.
In this moment, he is wearing heavy bandages of white and gray, but also green, using the nature that's innately around. Going from his upper left shoulder down across his body to the right hip, and then across like his rib cage. And you can see splotches of where blood was seeping through. He looks very tired, truthfully. Very, very tired, and almost like, who just woke me up? Kind of thing like this. This seems to have kind of been the alarm clock, so to speak. You immediately also smell the scent of lavender, balsam, peppermint, and a lot of other kind of healing herbs, kind of all mashed together to help with preventing infection, to help with pain, just to help purify the wound as much as possible. He is supported in this moment by another individual, and you would know this to be likely one of the kind of clerics within the Shiftweave tribe, who is kind of assisting not only in the healing, but also helping with the connection, as their wheat is a little bit stronger in this moment. They seem to be the anchor by which your brother is kind of hanging on to. And you kind of just see a look of relief that you're okay on his face, as a small smile breaks out, and then just takes in how big Sparky has gotten since the last time you spoke to him. And I think you see for a moment his eyes like bug for a minute. Yeah, remind me not to piss you off, huh, dear?
Too late.
Well, what had you screaming repeatedly on the door?
Which time? Which time?
Right now.
You? Demelza?
You kind of see he looks away after a moment. I'm okay. The tribe's okay.
What happened?
We went after what had been hunting you. Then noticed some strange things happening in the graveyard district and thought it might be connected since we were right there. And you kind of see a look of just regret and guilt paint itself onto his face. I rushed in. No plan. No scouting. And we were cut down. It's my fault.
That's not the full story. For them.
And it just nods. I can imagine.
Can you?
To an extent.
I had to finish them off.
I'm so sorry. I was afraid.
It's okay to be afraid.
No. Not when it means abandoning others.
They wanted you to go.
I still shouldn't have.
Yes, you should have. Because you would be just as lost as they are now, if not.
Who's to say? They might have.
No.
Had we prepared better, had I prepared better, we might have. Might have had more of a chance.
You stumbled into one thing while pursuing another. And yes, it was connected, but next time just do information gathering, please.
He nods. That's largely what I'll be doing for the next couple of days while I heal up anyways.
No, you'll be healing up for the next couple days and then gathering information.
He kind of nods and then closes his eyes thinking on it. I'm having others gather that information. We received word from Tinyl not to go beyond the borders. So some of the tribe is retreating elsewhere, splitting up, so to speak, to go and see about other threads that are not within the city perimeters.
I think, when did you last hear from Tinyl?
I spoke to him briefly in messages last night. He had mentioned that you wanted to talk too.
I just wanted to make sure you were okay.
That's why I wanted to reach out too.
I think after a moment, because I assume this is the dream world, but I could see what's going on with him. I can pull something out of my pocket and show him. I pull out that map that I took off that body and I show him. And I say, I showed this to Tinyl. This was taken off of an assailant. They've been tracking you. Probably behind, but they've still been able to figure out where you all have been.
He kind of looks,
and I oh, go ahead.
I think he looks at the map, and after a moment he says, well, that's partially the reason why we've been moving around so much. And he kind of nods towards it. Each of those are former campsites. We never stay in one place more than a day.
Remind me, when it showed it, was it like kind of like on like a circle? Was it like, or was it like dotted all over the place?
Dotted all over the place, but it's around a circle because the city of Dorks is the circle. But it was around the outer, I would say the north, a little bit to the east, mainly the north and northwest portion just of that. So essentially, because Dorks is landlocked in terms of the city and then it's the ocean, trying to cut it off around so it's only seafaring. So
okay. Be a bit more randomized when you guys are moving, because this is still a pattern that can easily be figured out.
Correct. And you kind of see he looks to the cleric at his right, who seems to be like kind of muttering and almost like taking notes based off of the conversation that you're giving.
What do you all need from me?
Your brother pauses for a moment. Truthfully, I just need you to be safe. As safe as you can be, all things considered. There's a lot going on here, Dia.
I know.
And this is far beyond the games that we played as children.
I know that a bit more intimately than you may think.
I'll believe that, actually. The village elders have been putting a lot of pressure. I've been getting a lot of kickback for some of these decisions as they just want to isolate completely. But how can we isolate and ignore a problem that's so in our faces?
And that has everything to do with us.
Exactly.
We can't run from this. It'll just find us.
And
it's already found us.
We can't put our heads in the sand.
No.
That's truthfully. And he kind of looks for a moment at the cleric. Truthfully, what got us into this mess. By not communicating, by not working with others. We are working so much harder and at a behind pace.
It made sense maybe centuries ago. But things are different now, and if the elders can't understand that, then they can go and isolate while the rest of us clean up whatever mess they've led us into.
Agreed.
And I'm like looking at the cleric while I say this, like dead eye contact, because like, yes, this is like a dream space, but like, wait till I get home, I will rock your fucking world if you even try something. Like, I'm so like Theodore is so just done, and like Indigo can like hear in my voice like that kind of like that just quaking rage that's been building up inside her. Like she just like is so close to just going fucking feral on anything that gets in her fucking way at this point.
I think your brother gives the look of, oh shit, shit's happening. Like just the very knowing look of just knowing that no one wants to catch this heat. Absolutely not. No.
I got 3 attacks now, bitch. Just kidding. Sorry. Nobody wants the smoke.
Of just knowing, hey, this is not what we want. And kind of, I think the cleric just doesn't say anything. They've always been a very neutral party.
He's like just taking notes, like,
No,
okay, she gonna fuck me up.
And your brother just kind of nods. And I think you hear, versus him saying it, as the kind of shift we forms in your head of a memory, and it's of your brother passing along a missive to be sent up north to the Shiftweave tribe that's based up there. And the connotation of it, right, I won't read the whole letter, so to speak, but the gist of it is that wanting to reunite the two wholes together. Especially in the fight ahead, trying to get information of what might be going on up north, where they might be at, because he doesn't even know where they're at.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sending a message very carefully, but sending it into the dark and hoping that he gets an answer. And you can see he did this with Demelza, with Rojin, shortly before the incident. Like probably that morning before everyone woke up. And you kind of see he like seems to just linger on their images for a hot minute as he's processing grief. Before he just cuts the connection and kind of just is looking at you. I think the better question of our time is, what do you need?
I don't even know what I need. I know what I want, but it's not safe right now.
What do you want?
I want to come home.
Kind of nods. Well, he looks around for a minute. Think of this as your home, for at least the time being. But we're here.
It's an adequate substitute, I guess.
And just so you're aware, we do have eyes on you as well. So, if you need help, we're there. You're not alone.
Same.
You have so many people, Dia, that love you. And will be there for you.
It's hard to remember that sometimes.
We all need that reminder. Frankly, the young ones in the tribe were giving me a lot of shit, wanting to know what you've been up to, what the great Diodora has been up to. So even the split second of seeing you for a moment was enough to get them all riled up for a few days.
Oh my god, I don't even want to get into everything I've been through. It's like, literally, like, you know, I'm mad at you right now. If I told you some of this stuff, you'd be mad at me. So
I'm sure.
let's not do this right now, to be honest.
We'll save it for a night where we both can have lots of drinks.
Yeah.
And all of this is far beyond us.
Yes. I think at that thought, like something occurs to me. It's like, there is one thing.
Yeah.
I think I've inadvertently caught the attention of a noble. And I think he is part of everything that's going on right now. So beware of Verero.
Caught the attention, what do you mean?
I think I give him like a brief rundown of what happened the night before, like with the monster, and then basically mouthing off to this motherfucker who just came in and wanted to be a sarcastic piece of shit and not help, and like, you know, he just seemed weirdly interested. I don't know. It was strange.
Well,
I think I got under his skin.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean,
Yeah.
but I'm not exactly surprised either.
Yeah, I
just
mean,
knowing you.
his skin seemed pretty thin anyway.
We'll keep an eye on him as best as we can.
Yeah. And I also will tell him about like the blood magic shit.
We had been wondering whether there had been the scent of blood in the air. And then Tyneal filled us in. Just since the incident, a lot of us have been kind of keeping a little bit closer in and not wandering into the city. So we had seen smoke rising, but we weren't exactly sure what was going on. Until we saw when we got up this morning what it all looked like. So blood magic, as you're well aware, is not something to be messed with. And I think you actually see like a genuine look of fear on his face with that.
I mean, if it's in the wrong hands, yeah. And right now it's in the wrong hands. I think there's a mole in Tyneal's. There's like, now I'm like kind of thinking and like sort of like slowly putting some pieces together, but just sort of like, it's like stream of consciousness type of,
Yeah.
you know? It's like, I think there's a mole in Tyneal's forces.
Wouldn't be surprised. That's why he's the only one that knows about us. I think even his assistant has no idea.
No, she doesn't. But I trust her. I wouldn't trust her with this, but I think she is one of the few that can be trusted.
Agreed. I would say keep your thoughts safe if that's the situation. From what you've mentioned now with magic users into play, and you kind of see this like rolling of the eyes.
Can I send him like an image of the argument I had with Hassan
Of course you
Rory
can.
just earlier about chopping off hands?
I think he just starts laughing and then coughing because he's still recovering. He's still in a lot of pain, but just this laughter fills the air. And again, not surprised. They're able to pull something from us, whether it be blood, shadow, or otherwise. You, I can tell, possess a lot of knowledge that you cannot speak into the air right now. Guard your thoughts.
Well, luckily for me, I am traveling with someone who speaks only in the mind and knows how to guard that very thing.
Good. Say that's going to be an asset to you ahead.
Yeah. One of the few magic users I've met that just isn't a complete total piece of shit, to be honest.
It's a rarity,
like,
honestly.
Oh my god, it's been so every fucking time we run into somebody who's a goddamn magic user, and I'm just like,
Red flag.
chop the hands off.
Yeah.
Yep,
no, I understand.
And I hate to generalize, I hate to generalize, but like
For sure.
it's been almost every single time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it seems like you're traveling with good people. So
I am. I'm
good.
I'm also not alone because I have them.
Good. And you see genuine relief on his face. The idea that you would be handling this all by yourself, frankly, that's more terrifying to me.
I laugh not because I think that's funny, but just because I think when he says that, I go, well, I think if I was me by myself, I don't know if I would have gotten this far because there's been a lot of reading.
Oh,
and
yeah.
frankly,
You seem to, from what I can tell, though, I mean, and Tyneal's remarked on it, too, that your shift weaving has really gotten a lot stronger. You said you have an accent now when you're doing the shift weave, so.
Do I?
I hear it a little bit, yeah.
Huh. Interesting. I don't know. I've come across it in a lot of places. Maybe I picked up something.
Could be. Well,
I do want to say above table, Indigo does know how to read, by the way.
1,000%.
This is just like a Theodora, that's not the way I want to learn.
No.
type
and he's
deal.
he's very much aware of that. Well, here's what we can do. And this might put you at ease as well. You're going to need to learn your Swiftweavian abilities a lot quicker. A lot quicker.
I'm trying. This armor has helped a lot, but
And you can see he's been admiring you in that armor since you popped in. He recognized it immediately of what it was. This is what we can do. Because I can't come to you and you can't come to me, this will allow for you to start exploring your other abilities. Shiftweavians, as you, and he kind of gestures around, we can walk through dreams because they are the shadows of the day. They are memory more often than not.
yeah.
So, we can meet and start working on those abilities a bit more. I am in the process of trying to find you a teacher that will be able to assist beyond the realm of what I can do.
Okay.
And you kind of see the look on his face as he looks pained to say this, but also proud to say this. You're already a lot stronger than I am with your abilities.
Mhm.
So, we'll be working
You
to
have
do
your own
that.
You have your own strengths, though.
True. This isn't a nudge against me. It's more innate to you. But I can show you what I've learned so far. And we can work on getting the tools ahead.
Okay. Okay.
Would that put you at ease? It still puts you in contact with the tribe. It just may not be every day. But
Yes, because I need to know what the fuck I'm doing.
I agree.
I'm gonna help people.
And help yourself.
I'm people.
True. But you know what I mean.
I do. But you also know what I mean.
We'll do that every couple of days, as much as we're able to. There might be times that we can't contact each other because any kind of gestures around.
Mhm.
But you now know that there is a way to contact.
Yes. I actually meant to do it last night, but I passed out.
Well, from the sounds of it, you needed it. So I'm kind of happy you did because it gave the possibility of rest. Because it is dangerous to dream walk and you're not at not your best, but better than you have been. To walk through a dream comes at a cost. So I'm glad you got rest.
Yeah.
Make sure you do that, Dia. You are a soldier, but you are not an automaton. I can just keep going.
Oh, no, that's Rory.
Right. Them. He's just acclimating. And you kind of see he's starting to just look a little bit more drained as the conversation's kind of going. He's leaning more so on the cleric as this is kind of going.
One more thing.
Yeah.
And then you should also rest.
Believe me, a nap is
This-
calling my name.
You might already be doing this, but there is a weapon that came with this armor that was stolen.
Where?
Okay. If you find out about where it is, tell me.
All we've been able to find is it's north. Partially the reason why we want to get into contact with the northern tribe is they might have seen it, they might have it. We don't know.
I would be surprised if they had it.
I would be as well, but new day, there's always something surprising about it.
Yeah.
All right.
I love you, brother.
I love you.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
That doesn't really narrow it down.
Don't rush into things without thinking about it first, at least like I rush into things, but I'm also thinking about it the same, like
Okay.
you are listen. I know you're the older sibling here, but I'm gonna just tell you right now, you as a roguish type person, you do not need to be running into danger all the time.
I'm working on that.
Work on it a little harder and faster. Thank you.
Got it.
Don't make me do an intimidation check, 'cause I fucking will.
No, it doesn't need to. You can see that each word is hitting home because whether you, since the discussion and bringing up of Demelza and Rajin, it's almost like, thank you, Rogier. It's almost like their images have never fully left his mind. You can see even now they weigh heavy on him.
I think seeing that, it doesn't make me feel good, but it makes me feel a little bit of relief because it's the same weight that I've been carrying. And it feels good to know that I'm not doing it alone.
I think
No, I am the baby of the siblings. I shouldn't have had to do it. So
No.
bro, just kidding.
But you can see that all of that weighs heavily on him. Larger and heavier than any brick or blade or even the wounds that he's carrying. All of that is measured and you can see it's a constant drain on him. And I think as you kind of feel the connection fading, as you can see, like he's just getting ready to just succumb to sleep. The cleric kind of talking quietly. You get a surface level thought from him through that connection again. And it is of the four of you, much younger, much years before he took on the responsibility of having to lead this tribe, of wearing that mantle. Just a sunny day in the desert, running around, sledding on the sand, burying each other, sand fights, all of that.
Me just sort of tagging along with like the big kids.
Getting into trouble, finding a couple scorpions in the sand that a little bit more difficult, but you all having each other's backs. Both then and now. As that connection fades. And you find Sparky in this moment has climbed off of you and it's just kind of looking at your paw, not your paw, your hand. He has his paw.
You can call it my paw. He can call it my paw.
For sure. As you find yourself back, Astani in the room, Rory likely in this moment coming out of the room you all were in, ready for a new day as the thunder, lightning, and the rain continues to pour outside.
As I come out of this, and I assume this only was like a few seconds.
Oh,
really.
yeah. For you, it was like 10, 20 minutes, but in reality, it was only
for
about
them, it was like
a minute maybe, where you were kind of just off in a daydream.
Yeah. I kind of looked like I was maybe meditating or a little bit or thinking about what was needed to be done. I do think that like as I come out of this dream state, there's still a lot happening, but I maybe look a little less burdened by things. Like slightly, like a little bit, just a little bit got shaved off.
Just something that took the edge off, just a bit.
Yeah, I took the edge off. Like it's like I took a hit of something and it's going to last like 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna be stressed out again.
Well, I think that'll do for the body. You can all come back in the room. Nothing exploded.
Oh, thank goodness. And like Osani's like, "Ear," like just open the door. Oh, we're good. All right, Theodora.
We should get going.
Yes, let's leave. And I don't think a prestidigitation would help the fees that we'll get from the tavern. So,
Oh, I
Fees.
mean,
So,
I don't
let's
think.
let's not worry about that. That's fine.
I also think that maybe it sounds, just based on what Rory said, that Blackstone and Benji have some sort of relationship, and maybe Benji owes Blackstone something. So
incredible. Great.
But also, I mean, like, what are you gonna do? We're here trying to save your city. You're gonna charge me for a little scorch marks on the floor? I don't think so. I will eat.
People
crow
try
for
the
dinner.
most.
I will say too,
If I
this
have to.
this place was pretty messy. The only reason
Yeah,
your room is clean is because Rory tends to mend and fix everything.
Rory
Like Benji
cleaned
was
it.
pretty clear he wanted it to be a mess kind of thing. Like there is a reason for it.
Yeah, because
So-
then nobody wants to. Because then nobody wants to come stay here.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is, even as Rory's fixing things, Rory has left a lot of things undone because Benji specifically said, "Hey, I know how you get down, and I need you to not do that in my hotel room."
Yeah,
Pretty much.
absolutely. There's now scratch marks on the floor from Sakali and Sparky, like no questions.
Oh, for sure.
Like hoof prints
And
from
what, like,
Astana.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
or heel prints. Maybe her since she
All right, then.
wears espadrilles or whatever. I don't even know. She's in them Louboutins.
Oh, and by the way, I've considered something.
Hmm.
I think we might need to stop by a market and pick up a few things.
What do we need to pick up?
I have a list this time. It's mostly for me, although I think some of it will be helpful for you.
I mean, you guys had a list last time, and I just handed it over to the person, and they just got me what I needed. Is this
Remember,
a secret list?
it is not a secret list, but remember, the list of things that we're going to have you involved in today is only 2 things long. Just 2.
I might have room for another. I'll tell you later.
Same. And I make our way downstairs to go and find Benji.
Okay. You can see in this moment he is looking over several books. Seems to be checking someone out from the inn itself. Thank you very much for your business, Mr. Yeah, you. Yeah. Have a great rest of your whatever you was that you were doing, and make sure to pop on by the inn at Leland or one of our other establishments. Mr. Rubin, it's so good to see you. Did you have a good sleep? As again, more lightning and thunder kind of sounds from outside.
A fantastic one. Lovely weather that we're having today.
It is. Frankly, it's been a minute since we've had this much rain. I'm gonna not gonna lie, I love it.
So,
Love it a bit.
I was hoping that my friends and I would, if you could give us some directions on the best way to take a more scenic tour
Sure.
of Jorix.
Now, are you talking about a true tourist experience, or are you talking about you trying to be stealthy motherfuckers more so around the city? That's important to differentiate, my friend.
There's like a Yeah, well, definitely more the latter, especially given that, we wanted to, let's say, take our little tour without distractions.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's kind of honestly, truthfully, could be just as simple as what you did yesterday, right? When you left my office, you got a bag full of tricks. Just changing your appearance every so often, right? Remember? Okay, remember the charade of when you first got into, and he kind of lowers his voice a little bit. First got into the stuff with the Orenthal, back in 05, right? We had that spree. You were tailing me, and you got so confused because I walked into a market and I had been literally just popping in and out as different people.
So Benji,
Yeah.
that's fair. That would absolutely work for me. On the other hand, if you would just look just behind me a moment.
That's what I'm saying, though, right? They'll be so busy trying to look for you, they won't be able to find your friends. You're the quicker of them, I can tell. So, if they focused on you, right? When you're out in the business, you are usually going to go for two things. Either the people that are moving slow or the people are moving quick. More often than not, your eyes are following whoever's quick, right? Because they're the ones that are going to be the most dangerous because you're not going to know where they're coming from. So, they're truthfully, because you're just, he kind of just gestures at you, because you're you, they're going to just really be focusing on you, man. Use that to your advantage. Make yourself everywhere. So that way, they can't help but look everywhere except at your friends. You know what I mean?
You, my fine feather friend, are an endless source of wisdom.
I try my best. Listen, I'm happy to teach you some of my tricks too if you ever need. Listen, there was one time when I was in a fight and it was outside of the gates. This was like, I think probably before you and point staff were even a thing, right? I was just a newly hatched me. And so there, there were some people that wanted to take me, and I said, no. And so I busied myself we weren't in a busy street, right? Didn't have that around us. No.
Mm-hmm.
I busied myself. We were in the woods. So I moved from tree to tree, changing what I looked like, changing what I sound like. And you can see as he's saying all this, his voice is changing too. I just can't do it because I got to stay with one right now.
That's fair.
I made myself a bear. I made myself a squirrel moving through the trees, constantly moving around, to the point that they were so confused they were running into each other. I made myself a problem. It was not only for my safety, but I was also trying to help out this very large turtle that was also being hunted by these individuals and was having some harder time moving. Now, I'm not saying your friends are as slow as a turtle. That would be very offensive of me, and I would never say that. They're both lovely and honestly could probably kick my ass. It's the reality of the situation. But make yourself the problem. You get what I mean?
I pull another cube out of the bag.
Oh, God, don't. I've heard you mention.
I have a pretty solid idea of how I can make myself a problem, but of course, never enter your establishment. There is kind of mess that you want, and then there are these things.
And that's not the mess I want. I'm going to be very for real with you, all right? Honestly, I feel like I need a sign that says, no shirt, no shoes, no cubes, no service.
What you want to do is a no circle with a lightning bolt. But I'm going to also say this. You still know what the good word is on a market for people who might need a magical trinket or two.
I mean, you could always go to what remains of the grotto. But probably if you're looking at more magically inclined, you might more so want to pop over to Erudite Quarter. That's where they stock all the stuff for the wizards, the bards, the druids, all that. They probably got some magic shops over there. They also have the museo. Now, I'm not saying you go to the museo's like gift shop, but if you feeling maybe steal an item or two from the museo, I'm just saying. You have options, you know?
You know, I do. I will also add here. Have you talked to a certain star wizard about me possibly visiting them this week?
No, because I slept after our conversation yesterday. It was very stressful and I needed some sleep. So, no. And just because I also figured it might be a bit of a sensitive topic if I brought it to him versus you going to him. You know what I mean? Because that's a bond between the two of you that I don't necessarily want to intrude upon, you know?
Oh, you just want me to surprise him by showing up at his job?
I mean, not gonna lie, it's pretty funny if that were to happen. But, like, that's a you and him thing, you know?
Okay, you know.
He knows you're in the area because, you know, the Orenthal has had eyes on you, you know? So, like, he knows you're in the area. But he is of the mindset, as is his whole belief, right? Magic. That is your decision whether you want to reach out to him or not.
Okay. Then I suppose I will. In a more direct manner, I guess.
Probably best.
Okay. Be the problem. I guess that's our lesson for today.
Yeah, be the problem. Because listen, then they can never hit your friends, and then they can never hit you because they don't know what they're looking at.
Okay. Then, do you have like a small, like little changing room down here that I could use real quick?
Why?
Change,
You
of
just
course.
fold that pen of why?
To change, of course.
There's a bathroom just down the hall.
Fantastic. Benji, thank you so much.
Mhm.
And I will try to stay out of trouble or at least make it count.
Well,
and I
Hang on.
walk back.
Are you leaving like fully this in, or are you going to another establishment? Like what? You leaving a little ominously, my friend. That's all. Is the room procured back or what?
Hey. You told me I should be a problem today. I'm practicing. And then I
Okay,
walk
but
right
not
over
like
to the
that.
girls.
You hear the door shuts.
So, Astani, Theodore. I'm going to make a small clothing adjustment. And after I do, if you wouldn't mind, give yourself a good 15 to 20 minutes after I leave. And then you can leave. Based on what we're doing for the Bone Weaver situation. You two want to head to the mausoleum. I am going to see if I can give people reasons not to follow you to the mausoleum.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm off to go change, and then let's see about meeting you all at the mausoleum. And I head into the changing room. We're gonna have like a little montage. The montage looks like me summoning Corbin and going, well, I guess this is going to be our bonding moment. And I start pulling out all of the things that I have that have bright colored thread in them. And if you want, I can roll you a roll for disguising kit because I have that proficiency. Sure. Okay. How do those? It's whatever the D20 is plus proficiency, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that is a 21 for disguises. I take all of these things and I try to make an item that is one of those stands out even in these dark weather situations.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like Blackstone goes into the restroom and comes out, and it's just in the mask that you first met them in, Theodora, in the mask that you first met them in this hood, but with a scarf that has all of these bright colors on it that they have somehow managed to stitch into all of the clothing that they're wearing in some way. So there's like a bright yellow patch here, an orange patch there. Their scarf is this intense red color. And then you see them walk outside. They step outside about 30 feet in a straight line so you can see them walking out. And then you see multiple like colors of light appear, start orbiting them. I'm gonna use dancing lights on myself. And then just start I'm just gonna pick a random direction away from the mausoleum and start walking into places.
So obnoxiously bright that actually nobody wants to look at you.
I love it. I love it so
just being
much.
like being really visible, and then the moment that I find a crowd of people, I'm going to dispel all of it and just start doing weird stuff.
I love it. You head out. Time passes. And Astani and Deodora, you head out as well. Out into the rain, lightning, and thunder. With some relief, but a lot on your shoulders as well. And that is where we will end for today. Great job, everybody. Oh boy. Thank you so much for hanging out with us as we have had another episode of Ampistrano, and I am so very excited to see what is going to happen next week. Thank you also, by the way, for all of the raids, and if you stuck around for that, just thank you so much. That really means a lot that you were able to hang out with us. Thank you to our lovely mod team as always as well. Let's go ahead and go around, say who we are and who we've been playing and all the ways that we can support all the wonderful things that you are doing. Let's start with Maz.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Maz. Wonderful things I am doing. The games sometimes on my channel, and then I also on Catchy Cantrips on Tuesdays. I'm also producing a couple of shows on Starcrawl. Like tonight there will be a Thirsty Sword Lesbians one shot that was recorded, and it's awesome, and it was really funny. So if you love exes coming back together, drama, flirting, and writing letters to girlfriends.
Say less.
Should I? Okay, definitely come through and give it some support. Also, the second part of our Regency game will be up on YouTube as well. So people who are interested on what couple ended up with who, you can figure out, like, you can watch and see. But yeah. I will hopefully be streaming tomorrow morning. I want to kind of finish Resident Evil really badly before I have to start work next week, so I haven't stopped thinking about that.
Wonderful. Let's popcorn over to Sin, our resident peacock at the end of the episode. Sin, tell us about yourself and where we can support you.
Hello, greetings and salutations. I am Sinziak, your resident Sunflower Tea person who plays a lot of RPGs and adventure things. So pronouns are he, they. Today I have been Rory for you, whose pronouns are he, him, and telling stories about Blackstone, whose pronouns are they and he, very interchangeably, non-bronery, as it were. That being said, today's question, as I think about it, is, are robots in fact non-binary? Discuss.
I love it.
In the meanwhile, while we're here, I am obviously here with these lovely people on Saturdays at 3 p.m., but you can also catch me with the major Linux crew, yelling at the tech and gaming industry because, again, they supply me an endless amount of material every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I have snuck somehow back into streaming, so that will also be coming up at this week at some point. Yesterday, we played a entirely ridiculous round of Risk of Rain and had a bunch of fun with that, and I look forward to more of that nonsense. So, yeah, stay tuned. I'm on Blue Sky. That is, well, Black Sky, actually. I'm on Black Sky. That is where I'm at social media wise most of the time.
Love it. And last but certainly not least, Fair.
Hi, I'm Farron. I've been Deodore Shadeson, your extremely stressed Battlemaster fighter who finally got to see her brother after 5-6 episodes at this point. You can follow me on socials at Fairbear, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and here on Twitch. I am trying to return to streaming next week. We'll see if that works. If not next week, then the week after next. It kind of just depends on work things. But you can also find me over on Dibbles and Dice channel, 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern, for Philly by Night, The Monster Within, which is a Vampire the Masquerade campaign. And I'm doing other stuff and things, but y'all don't need to know about that yet, so...
Also, it's Fair's birthday month, and you should also go support. It's also, Women's History Month, too, so,
But more importantly, my birthday month. Because, let's be real, most women's history, they're like, let's only focus on the white women. It's like, okay.
So please go and support Fair. And all of the things. Support this entire cast. They're wonderful. And again, thank you so much to our mod team. Thank you again for that raid. Thank you, Raiders, so much for today. It's been wonderful to make some new friends and welcome others into the fold. I will hopefully be live tomorrow. And then back with another week of streaming, as well as showcasing Celasta 2. We got early access to that, so that'll be fun to check that RPG out on stream. And yeah, we are going to head out of here, y'all, but catch us next week for a brand new episode and seeing what trouble and chaos lies in store for this wonderful cast. But from all of us here to all of you, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you next time from Beyond the Veil. Bye, everybody.